My spouse is unwilling to do recovery. This is a huge issue when addiction is there and recovery is an option, but they're saying, no, I won't do the work. What do? You want to stay with us and find out. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please hit that button. If you have a question, go ahead and put it in the box. Now, I'm Dr. Doug Weiss, the president of the American Association for Sex Addiction Therapy, the executive director of Heart to Heart Counseling Center in Colorado Springs. And I have worked with sex addicts and all kinds of addicts, intimacy anorexics, and people have flown in. They do 5-day intensives in our office every week and have for decades. But once in a while, you find this person who even will pay for counseling, even fly down, and they don't want to get better at all. All they want to do is say, I went to counseling, put a Band-Aid on it, and really what they're asking their spouse to do is just be quiet. Let's forget it. Let's pretend it never happened. I'm not going to go to group. I'm not going to go to counseling. Some of them won't even take a polygraph test. I'm never going to tell you the truth. And as a betrayed spouse, whether you're a man or a woman, you're really confused because you're like, I'm the one who was cheated on. I'm the one who was exposed to your problems. I'm the one suffering financially. I'm the one having to continue to raise the kids being wounded. I'm the one in pain. You're the one who's saying you're not going to do anything to help me or even to change. You're going to go right back home and you're going to keep doing the porn or the people or the prostitutes, or you're going to continue to withhold love from me like the intimacy anorexic or whatever the addiction is. And the betrayed man or woman feels really confused. They're confused because they expect the addict to be the hero. Now, there's a couple things I'm going to say, and some of them are going to be hard. The addict has never been the hero, and the addict doesn't want to be the hero for themselves. They don't even want to save themselves. It's not just about you, and it's not about the family. They don't want to save themselves from the addiction. And so because of that, they're not interested in saving you. They're not interested in saving the kids. They're interested in loving and protecting the addiction. So what a man or woman loves, they protect. And a person who won't do recovery is committed to protecting the addiction. Now, the next thing is you have to talk about the system of the marriage. Now, in your marriage, and some people, they don't stay together because of love and the kids. Sometimes they stay together because of finances, social, economic status reasons, and other things. And I would highly recommend these couple videos. Number one, why do I stay? Would be really, really good. This one is a little more gender specific. When you marry a child, don't expect a man right away. Okay. And the last one is called Unstuck. These three are powerhouse videos that you can download, watch in a couple hours, and get a lot of information, not only about them, but about you. Because the reason you're staying isn't because they will or won't recover. Because if it is, that decision would be relatively easy. But systemically, here's what happened. The addict is being pressured to recover, and he or she is saying, no, I'm not going to do that. So in one of the videos, I talk about the hot potato. You gave them the hot potato, they're giving it back to you. So basically they're saying, live dysfunctional the way it's been all of our life, or leave. They're not going to say divorce me, because they're going to make you be the bad guy. If you do file for divorce or separation, they're going to make you do all the work because they are immature. They're about 13 to 15 years old emotionally. So you can't expect them to act like real adults because they're not. Addictions rob you of spiritual, emotional, and moral maturity. So the lack of empathy is not because they're narcissists, it's because they're 13 or 14 years old emotionally. And if you think they're narcissists, we have a great video called Narcissism, Sex Addiction, and Intimacy Anorexia. You can fetter that out. But here's the issue. Focusing on the person who won't change will guarantee you no results. The only person here that can change is you. Now, you might want to get informed about the addiction. You might want to get in group or get in counseling, get support. You might want to deal with, if you have family of origin issues, rapes, abortions, or if you've had affairs or things that are going on in your life, clean that up so that you're strong enough that if you do need to make a permanent decision, you can. And you have the support around you. If you need to figure out economic things, talk, get help around that, or even get a job sometimes. Find out why you're really staying and solve that problem. Don't solve the problem of them doing or not doing recovery. Because if you've already given them an opportunity, like you've done a 5-day intensive with us, I've had a percentage of people, most get better because they want to get better. They fly in to do intensives to get better. But some don't. Some, spouse brings them and they're like, I'll be a good boy all week, but when I go home, I'm going to do my own thing. And they do their own thing. and it puts the spouse in a situation where they now have to look at themselves as to why they are staying in an addiction relationship. And it's not always pretty what you see, why you stay. And so you have to find that out. Once you do the work on your side. Before you make any declarations or proclamations, and do not believe that you threatening them is going to make them grow up. They're drunk. You're talking to a drunk, whether an alcoholic or drug addict or sex addict, porn addict. If they're into intimacy anorexia, they're withholding. They're not thinking about you. They're thinking about them. So why would you continue to expect them to mature? Because they're not mature. They're not going to be mature no matter how much you want them to be mature. But you can mature and address the issues in your life that maybe need some assistance, and then take it to the next step that you can, because you'll be strong enough and smart enough to do that. Now, this can take some help, and I would recommend, whether you're a man or woman, call our office, because we've been doing this for decades, helping men and women figure this out. We have support groups, there's workbooks, there's videos, there's lots of stuff you can do to educate and train yourself to be successful, okay? Even though they don't choose to recover. Even neurologically, in our office, we have a neurological thing that you can do to help your brain recover from the trauma of the addiction or of the anorexia. So you need to focus on you. That's what you do when your spouse won't do recovery. You focus on your recovery, you do your workbooks, you dig in, and you can stay married while you're healing and figure out what you need to do, because sometimes it takes time to figure this out. Be patient with yourself, but don't believe that if you're not taking your recovery seriously and you're looking at them and they're not doing anything, there's some hypocrisy in that. So if you're in a group and you're making phone calls, you're doing workbooks and they're doing nothing, you're going to heal. But if you're just complaining about them doing nothing while you do nothing, they're going to see that as like, okay, you're staying for the money or you're staying for the inconvenience. And so I can do whatever I want because your behavior tells me I can do whatever I want. And so the addict is always going to believe your behavior. And so if your behavior is you get aggressive in your healing and your recovery, that's going to bring some concern, because it's like, that's different, that's new. And so focus on yourself, heal, dig into what needs to be strengthened inside of you, and then figure out what you want to do. Well, if your spouse doesn't want to do recovery, you're in a painful spot, really painful. And you don't deserve that, but it's a situation you're in. And you cannot change them. Your love won't change them. Sex won't change them. Threatening won't change them. Taking money from them won't change them. Leaving the house for a day or two is not going to change them. They have to change from the inside. So stop believing that you have any power to make a difference except for yourself. And if you take that journey, well, that car you can drive. You can't drive their car. You can drive your car. My hope is that you reach out for help. Call the Counseling Center, 719-278-3708. They can tell you maybe the videos or books, materials, groups, support groups, Facebook groups. Even we have whole trainings, 45-hour trainings on some of these topics that some people have done who their husband doesn't want to do counseling or their wife doesn't want to do counseling, and they just get all the information a counselor would get in the training. So there's lots of options for you. Call, send us an email. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. If you have a question, put it in the box. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. And please make yourself worth recovery.